Hey everyone, it's Ben from the Rent Center. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with whatever's new in fragrances. I know this video is a little late, but it did take longer than I anticipated to compile the list because I wanted to get my nose on most of the fragrances. Today I'm going to talk to you about the best perfumers of 2024. Stick around. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to you about the best perfumers of 2024. I know we always talk about best fragrance houses and best fragrances, and they're all valid and we'll get to that. But I do want to take at least one video to really thank the perfumers and showcase the amazing things perfumers do. So this is my ranking of the top perfumers of 2024. Now again, all perfumers are great. Without perfumers, we wouldn't have perfumes, and especially without creative perfumers, we wouldn't have niche at all. And it goes hand in hand. Without great houses, we wouldn't have perfumers to be, you get my point. So in any case, this video is about ranking the top 10 perfumers of 2024, ranked by their fragrances, by the way they stand out, and by the creations they have done. So let's jump right in. At spot number 10, we got Dominique ROPION. Dominique ROPION is best known for Portrait of a Lady by Frédéric Malle, as well as Promise, also by Frédéric Malle. Now, there are many other fragrances he has done over the years. The reason I rank him at top 10 is because in 2024, he brought out his own line of fragrances called Aphorisms. They are amazing. They go all the way from fruity, fresh to Middle Eastern, inspired by the life in Saudi Arabia. So they're absolutely amazing, and he's done a great job doing so. At spot number 10, Dominique ROPION for his Aphorisms line. Spot number 9, I did want to add Terrence Hughes. Terrence Hughes is a fellow content creator who has been designing his own fragrances for the last several years. Every time he appears, every time somebody talks about his fragrances, the moment they come out, they're sold out again. It's my understanding that he had some issues with the distributor in the United States, which has later on been fixed with Max Aroma. So thank you, Max Aroma, for enabling all of us to get our nose onto Terrence Hughes' creation. Every time they become available, they get sold out within hours, if not minutes. It is insane how popular his fragrances are, but that's it. Terrence Hughes at spot 9. Now at spot number 8, I did want to mention Francis KURKDJIAN. So he has done an amazing takeover at Dior, especially with the exclusive line. One of my favorites is New Look, which he has really overhauled, and the frankincense and aldehydes are just amazing. However, fragrances such as Sauvage Eau Forte were good, but just too regular and way overhyped. He has had some really good releases with Maison Francis KURKDJIAN, such as A Pomme, where he took A Pomme Femme and A Pomme Homme together and made just a unisex A Pomme, which is absolutely amazing. He re-released Absolu pour le soir and Absolu pour le matin in 2024, as well as Reflet d'Ambre, which were amazing fragrances. However, the reason he's losing rank and is only on spot 8 is because of Boîte Talisman, which is just a very regular sort of new interpretation of By the Fireplace with a hefty price tag, as well as the overhaul of the 2025 Dior Homme Parfum, which is just nothing like it used to be. If it had been released as a different flanker, it would have been much better, but discontinuing Dior Homme Parfum and then Dior Homme Intense for the new iteration of Dior Homme Parfum 2025 is, in my opinion, just not a smart move. Especially because so many people are die-hard fans of those fragrances, both Dior Homme Parfum and Dior Homme Intense. So I don't know what the reason was behind it. I'm sure, again, this is not only his decision. There's many wheels that make decisions like that. It's not all on the creative director and perfumer, but this is something that upset many people, and that's why he's only on spot 8. So spot 8 goes to Francis KURKDJIAN. At spot 7, we have Alberto Morillas. Now, Alberto Morillas brought out hundreds of fragrances and is very well known for his amazing touch with fresh fragrances. He has his own line called Mise en Cire and Perfect Oud, one of my most complimented fragrances. It's incredible. So in 2024, he did bring out Perfect Oud Extrait and Legend Leather, which again is a leathery fragrance with aldehyde. Really good, very complimented, Perfect Oud Extrait is amazing from what I hear, and again, this one I did not get my nose on yet, but it's my understanding that it is a mix between his Perfect Oud and Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomad. So I still have to get my nose on that, but it is highly complimented and highly commented. Actually, highly commented to be more precise. So Alberto Murillo at spot 7. At spot 6, we have Jordi Fernandez. Now, Jordi Fernandez did bring out some amazing fragrances such as Oud Maracuja, Oud Stallion, Oud Cadenza, Cuir Infrarouge, as well as Ex Nihilo Speed Legends, Night Drive, and the Hedonist Extrait. He also brought out Tonka Hysteria for d'Orsay, as well as Mur Oud for Merchant of Venice, Pastel Oud, and Pearl Bouquet. So Jordi Fernandez is up and coming. He's already brought out some fragrances in 2025, which we will address once I review them. But here we go. Spot 6 for Jordi Fernandez. Spot 5, we have Michael Nordstrand. Known for his Tom Ford creations, mainly the green ones, Vert Bohème, Vert d'Encens, and Vert de Bois, he did the entire Mars Stray line. So I've reviewed them. If you haven't seen my review, there should be a button up here so you can see the review, and I'll link it again in the description box below. He has done the entire line. They're really great. 6 fragrances, 3 essences, 3 perfumes, and let me tell you, they're absolutely fire. So spot number 5 for Michael Nordstrand. Now at spot number 4, and I was thinking whether this is an adequate spot or not, but I did place Aurelien Guichard at spot 4. Now he is known for creating Parfum de Marly's Herod, which was my very first Parfum de Marly fragrance, absolute banger. Yes, I heard that the newer flankers are watered down. I can't say yes or no, I just know that Herod smells amazing. And as the mastermind of Matière Première, Aurelien brought out the extraits in 2024, which were absolutely amazing. If you didn't get your nose on them yet, you have to at least try them. So I will post a video that goes more into depth into the house of Matière Première. So subscribe and turn on the notification buttons so you don't miss any new videos and you stay up to date with all my content. There are particularly 3 fragrances that truly stand out. The first one is Crystal Saffron Extrait, which is amazing. Not only does it smell great, and especially for the saffron lovers, it really kicks that edge. You can smell it from afar in a long time. So around 6 hours after I sprayed it, it was cold, it was winter. I went to farmer's market, and while I was standing in line, it was like 7, 8 people down. One of the people taking payments came up to me and said, "Hey, what are you wearing? It smells so great." So that one really radiates and it smells stunning. Encens Suave, again, is an amazing frankincense fragrance, which I absolutely love. The one that will go down into my Hall of Fame is Radical Rose Extrait. It is so amazing. Yes, you have the rose, and I love rose, but it is so masculine and so different to anything else you've smelled. It's just a different take. It really shows how a perfumer can take a classical note such as rose and create something completely different that smells like nothing else. So at spot number 4, we have Aurelien Guichard. At spot number 3, we have Julien Rasquinet. So in 2024, he created for Dries Van Noten Chamomile Satin, as well as Amouage's Luster, which in my opinion tops Frédéric Malt's The Moon. He also came out with Incense Crush from d'Orsay, as well as Cupid's Kiss, and of course Juicebox 54, which he did together with Sebastian, the perfume guy, one of my fellow content creators. I'll link his channel down below. If you're not following him, I truly advise you do. He is super insightful, and I cannot think of any one fragrance which he did not review. So at spot number 3, Julien Rasquinet. At spot number 2, we have Cécile ZAROKIAN. Now, 2024 was not the year where she brought out most fragrances, but I do think that she brought out the one that really makes the difference, which is Amouage's Outlands. Yes, guilty as charged. We know I love Cécile ZAROKIAN's fragrances, you know, especially some of her amber creations, such as Mas Milano Tango, Tango Oud, as well as Amouage's Material, Royal Tobacco, and others. But she topped it off with Outlands in the Essences line of Amouage. Again, credit here goes not only to Cécile ZAROKIAN, but also Chief Creative Officer of Amouage, Renaud Salmon. The process they went through is absolutely stunning to create such a fragrance. If you haven't seen my full review, I'll link it here so you can view my review of the essences. But this is one of the fragrances that truly stands out. It definitely is a niche perfume. It's one that stands out and is mass appealing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is stunning. It is one that once you smell it, you will remember it and it stands out. So at spot number 2, CECILE ZAROKIAN. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date. At spot number 1 of my top perfumers of 2024, who would have guessed Quentin BISCH? Now he has done tons of fragrances in 2024. The reason he gets the first spot is not the number of fragrances, it's really the diversity of fragrances and how each fragrance stands out on their own. It is amazing to see how Quentin BISCH can make so many fragrances and all of them smell differently, or mostly all smell different. Starting off with Amouage Guidance 46, Born to Stand Out's Fugazi, Essentials Parfum Bois Imperial Extrait. Now he did bring out Bois Imperial the years prior, but in 2024 it was Essential Parfums Bois Imperial Extrait, which adds a hint of note and changed the profile just a little bit, enough to make it stand out. He did 4 out of the 7 fragrances for the new Fendi collection, Casa Grande Perché No, Prima Terra, and Sempre Mio. He came out with Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Beau and La Belle Paradise Garden, Scandale pour Homme Absolu. For Maison Crivelli, he created Tuberose Astral, which in my opinion is one of the most beautiful tuberose fragrances and one of the top flower fragrances ever created. He's also the nose behind Lattafa's Teriyaki and Teriyaki Intense, as well as Marc-Antoine Barrios' Tilia, which is a gorgeous vanilla fragrance. He created 4 out of the 8 Balmain fragrances, Cleux Infini Carbone, Rouge, and Celle d'Ambre. He created Million Gold for Rabanne, Van Cleef, Ambre Impérial Le Parfum, Pro Tea Collection, all 4 fragrances of Pro Tea Collections, black tea, green tea, red tea, and white tea. And as a side note, and of course this did not go into the ranking, but he has been the nose behind at least 10 fragrances already in 2025. So number 1 spot goes to Quentin BISCH, which is one of my favorite perfumers and one that really makes each fragrance stand out. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was my best perfumers of 2024 ranking. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me for anything fragrance related. Please comment and let me know who was your favorite perfumer of 2024. And if you like, follow me on Instagram where I post regularly. See you next time, and as always, stay scented.